Hello. My name is Lena and you are on the Handmade OLM channel. Here I share my upcycling ideas. I give old things a new life and turn them into unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. In one of my recent videos, I showed you some of the things I found in a second-hand shop, of course. I already have plenty of things at home that could be transformed, but sometimes I go thrift shopping because it makes a project much more affordable. Even beautiful buttons can be expensive. Sometimes one button costs as much as 8 zloty. Lace, thread, needles, trims, all those small things add up, even if people do not always notice the cost. So, to keep my projects inexpensive, I often buy materials secondhand. Recently, I found a pair of trousers. And today, I want to show you step by step how they can become a beautiful, fashionable skirt. If you do not want to watch the whole process, you can skip to the end to see the final result. But if you stay with me, I will show you how I make this unique, modern, asymmetrical skirt in a boho military-inspired style. The first thing I do is cut off the elastic cuffs at the bottom of the trousers. I do not need them in this form, but I never rush to throw anything away. Even small scraps can be useful later. Now I need to open the center seams. These seams were finished with an overlock, so instead of unpicking everything carefully, I simply cut them open. I also cut away one of the side seams that I do not need. The trousers are now ready for upcycling. In the crotch area, I removed the extra seams because they will get in the way of shaping the skirt. The shape of trousers is curved, so to make them lie properly as a skirt, I need to open the seam a little more. I unpick about 10 centimeters at the back and a little less at the front. That gives me enough room to overlap and arrange the fabric the way I need. I want this skirt to be asymmetrical. The cut will not be exactly in the center. I want one side to create a long wedge that gives the skirt movement and character. The pockets are in the way, so I need to remove or reposition them. I completely remove one pocket and I'm happy because the fabric underneath is the same color. The other pocket I only cut partly because I want to keep it in place and use it as part of the design. Now I mark the new cutting lines. One side will be a little lower, the other a little higher, and the wedge will run down the length of the skirt. After cutting, the trousers look funny and unfinished, but that is normal at this stage. Now I need to use the pieces I cut away to fill in the front and back, so the skirt becomes one complete shape. I start from the bottom because that gives me the final length. I lay the extra piece on the table, pin it in place, mark what needs to be cut, and sew it first before trimming the excess. This is easier and helps avoid mistakes. I sew about 8 millimeters from the edge. I want the raw edges to fray nicely later, so I do not overfinish everything. In this project, the rough handmade edges are part of the style. Now, I want to add a few distressed patches. I have shown this technique in other videos, but I will repeat it here. I put a board inside the fabric, then make distressed holes where I want texture and decoration. After that, I place another piece of fabric underneath and stitch around it. There are many ways to make distressed patches. Today I'm using fabric underneath the hole. I sew around the patches twice with a zigzag stitch. Usually one line of stitching is enough, but I want these to look more decorative and handmade. I add a few larger and smaller patches. When the skirt is worn and washed, the raw edges will fray and become more interesting. A small practical note: if you make pieces with raw edges, loose threads or distressed patches, wash them in a laundry bag. Threads can stay inside the washing machine and even damage the pump, so always protect both the garment and the machine. The skirt is ready in its first version. I cannot show it on myself because it is not my size. So I will show it on the mannequin. The patches are made from the scraps I cut from the bottom of the trousers. I also used the overlocked seam that I removed earlier. I inserted it at the waistband and tied it into little knots. It creates an extra decorative detail. If someone does not like this detail, they can remove it. But for me, this is exactly what boho style allows, combining things that do not look traditionally compatible. Military, boho, raw edges, knots, patches together, they create something personal and unique. At first, I thought about adding lace or mesh, but then I decided not to. This version is good as it is. Without extra decoration, the skirt can also be worn as a styling layer over trousers, dresses, or other skirts. Later, I went shopping and found a fabric that matched the skirt perfectly. If I had been looking for it on purpose, I probably would not have found it. It is a very thin gray fabric, almost like a mesh, but still a fabric. The color works beautifully with the skirt. I bought 1 meter and decided to try a second version. I added a ruffle about 20 to 22 centimeters wide. The skirt is still asymmetrical, but now it has a different mood. If something does not feel finished, you can always change it and completely transform the project. Here is the version with the ruffle. I think it also has the right to exist and it does not look bad at all. In this version, it works more like a finished skirt on its own. Without the ruffle, it could be used more as a layering piece in different outfits. I hope you liked this project. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I hope we will meet again many times, and I will continue sharing all my ideas with you so each of you can use them and make something special. Stay with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.